Welcome one, welcome all to this GT3 Challenge Series track guide. We're at Virginia International Raceway, which is a fantastic track. The hot lap, anyway. The racing will be probably bumper cars. It's very narrow, but there we go. Right, hopefully you like the hat. Jaguar Racing. Can you see that? Yeah, before the Red Bull team. So there we go. That ages me slightly, doesn't it? Anyway, let's go on with the track guide, shall we? Right, coming down turn one. This is one of two overtaking possibilities, okay? If you've got a car behind you here, stick right to the inside, okay? Do not let anyone up your inside, because the minute you do, you're probably going to get pushed wide, okay? Stick right to the inside, very long radius corner, so you'll have no problem defending, okay? They've been very kind to us here, and they've left us some numbers. So we've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we are braking at the 2. And going down into second gear. Okay, so very hard braking. We don't kick in any ABS. Since the new ABS updates, you can brake pretty hard, I'll be honest. If you're braking straight, brake hard, okay? As we turn into the corner, obviously we're trying off the brake, again, as close as we can. And then as we are reaching this area here, that's sort of the minute you kind of accelerate now. The rear, you're very rear grip limited around here, okay? So balancing the throttle, feeding the car, okay? Got to save these tyres, because if you start sliding it around turn one, by the end of the lap, they're going to be in a bad place, okay? So you're going to carry that pain all the way through, all right? So keep that rear under control the best you can. Okay, now into one of the harder corners on the track. It's got a double left-hander. It's not the easiest, okay? Now, I can use the end of the curb here as a reference, okay? We're kind of braking before that. And because we're kind of turning the whole way and braking, okay? So we're looking at about 30% brake. We're kind of keeping that on the whole way around. Spying the second apex, and we're getting on the throttle nice and early, okay? I'm like on all the way back here, because I probably just slowed the car a bit more maybe than I needed to. Don't have to worry about getting too close to the curb on the right hand side. You're kind of flirting with danger if you do that, I'll be honest. 3/4 of the track is absolutely fine. It's not like you need to open up the score too much, because it's not a massive straight, okay? And as we're coming through, we're going to use all this curb here. They've allowed us to use it, so we're going to use it. All right. So coming up to the next left-hander, we're looking at kind of, you can grab fourth, or you can just keep in third, okay? And then we're dropping down into second gear. And we want to get nice and tight, okay? Probably take a bit of curb here. We want to open up the right-hander, okay? Now, very rear grip limited around here. You're kind of feeling the rear. It's going to dance around all over the place. This is where you'll probably make up the most amount of time, okay? This is where if you get it wrong, you're just going to bleed so much lap time, okay? So don't do that, okay? So short shift here into third, okay? And we're just feeding the throttle, okay? We won't be on full throttle here. You'll be just feeding it, kind of almost steering the car with the throttle, okay? Back right out of it, then back on it, and just feeding it. Again, you can short shift here if the rear is really snapping on you. I've managed to balance it nicely here, so I haven't had to. Take a bit of curb here, but be really, really careful with this curb, okay? I cannot emphasize enough, you cannot get your wheels onto grass here, okay? I've gone onto it like this, that's fine, okay? That's fine anymore, and you are dead. Like, I mean, just dead. Like, spinning off into inside, you got no chance, okay? That is as much as you can take, okay? We're now flat out, okay? And this is an awesome little track. This is just easy flat, but you're just smashing these curves in the flat, okay? Just bang left, bang right, bang the next left. This corner is flat, okay? Just make sure you get it across the right-hand side, okay? Now, eagle eye, you would have noticed that the brake bias is now at 52.4, okay? During that section, I knocked it down 3 clicks, okay? Because I find for the left-hander coming up, just helps to turn the car in, okay? And I tend to leave it like that for the rest of the lap, okay? Until I get back down to turn 1. Up to you, okay? Play around with it. If you lose the rear a bit too much, then keep it up at 53, but I like to knock it down on the second half of that to 52.4. Okay, so high speed corner coming up here, very reminiscent of Manicourt this. As you get over the brow, that's sort of your braking point. It's kind of a feel thing. They've left no numbers here for us. Well, I mean, what can you do, eh? Can't get the staff. Braking hard in a straight line, but then we're almost instantly off it. Down the gear into fifth. We're throwing it in. We're making sure we get an apex here, okay? If you don't get the apex, you're going to run wide, okay? We're going to be on throttle really as we get to the apex. And then run it as wide as we can, but be careful of the grass here. It kind of goes a bit off camber and it's so easy to run wide. Just really easy to get off track there. Be careful of that. Right, this next section is all about the braking. So we're kind of braking just before the 2. And we've got a double right-hander here. And it's all about the exit of the second corner, okay? That's what we got. That's everything we're trying to set up here. Obviously, we've got to carry in as much speed as we can. But, you know, we get our braking done early. And then when we turn in, very little brake. And we're just eyeing this second apex the whole time. Don't need to go mega wide, okay? Like, because you will risk death, okay? If you run it a little bit too wide, we're just eyeing this second apex, okay? Getting it turned in, get on the throw as soon as we can, okay? And then balancing the throw and exit, get back on full throw as soon as we can, but we don't want to kick in the traction control too much, okay? And again, we use all the runoff because it's there. We just carry a bit more speed in. Okay, now this is the second overtaking spot. Okay, often we get, like if you get a good run at that last corner, you get a bit of slipstream up here. Now, if you're the defending car, I recommend just holding your line, okay? Because you've got the left-hander and then the right-hander, okay? So you have the inside line. Obviously, if you're overtaking and you have to go up the inside, then you have to go up the inside. Do you know what I mean? You just hope that you can get your nose in front, okay? Right, so I'm going to show you a classic overtake into the corner. This is actually me making an overtake, and this is my first win in a top split in GT3 Challenge Series. And so this was the penultimate lap of the race. We're in the kind of at the follow car. I'm obviously in the blue and white car, and this move here is good. So hopefully the quality will be right. But as you see, he sticks to the right hand side, so we take as much slipstream as we can, coming alongside. Braking hard into the corner. He's left me a bit of room there, so I've taken it. Got my nose just in front, touched a little bit, and then through on the exit. Because he's obviously coming in from kind of this spot here. He can't make the apex now. Because he can't make the apex, it means he can't. Yes, lift out basically. Whereas I can make the apex, so I can just about go flat. Now you know, people could argue that maybe there's a bit of a rub there, but rubbing's racing. It's fine. Come on, it's fine. And you know, at the end of the day, he's turning on me. Come on, and all that sort of stuff. So that's sort of you know, basically showing off. Basically, that's the sort of move that you can make. Okay. Now we're looking at like the 1 and the 2, and kind of in between the 1 and the 2. That's when we're starting to turn. So I like to get a bit of a turn in first, and then kind of on the brakes. We're kind of trying to brake it as straight as possible, okay? We're on the curb, just touch a little bit. You don't want to touch too much of that curb, okay? And getting to here, we need to be on the left-hand side, okay? So this is about right here, okay? Just to open up this right-hander. Quite often, if people get two on the right-hand side here, then that'll push them wide for this one. And then they're on the left-hand side for the next left-hander. Okay, so you're setting up like the corners a long way in advance here. Okay, but again, second gear. And again, we're balancing the throttle on exit. Okay, balancing it. Okay, again, if you're on the left of here, you're not going to make this left-hander flat. Okay, even from here, I need just about make it flat. Okay, so as I'm going through, you see the steering wheel kind of now pointing to the right-hand side because the rear's just lost a bit of grip. Okay, I could have backed out the throttle, but I'm kind of hot lapping, so I would just keep it on. Okay. Now here, what I do here is I'm off the throttle, and I just go straight over the curb. Okay. So I'm just coasting over it, and as soon as I'm off it, I brake. Okay. So again, just off the throttle, braking a straight line. As we sign to turn, we're going to coming off the brake. Make sure we get a bit of this curb, and there is a bit of camber here as well, so you'll feel it kind of hook up, okay? If you're running wide, you're probably not going up the inside enough, okay? It's quite a hard corner, to be fair. It's a hard little end to the track, and you'll feel it kind of grip up. So it grips up there. You don't even normally end up on this curb, and if you end up on this curb, you're probably not going to make the apex of the next corner. So it's a bit weird they put the curb in there, because I don't think you're ever really going to end up out there, okay? Back on the throttle, and this isn't really a corner, okay? And we're running through the line, and again, we've got to kind of set this whole thing up, okay, here. So if we are running too wide, we're going to struggle to make it back, okay? And if we're too narrow, then we're not going to make this corner flat, okay? So that, again, is only just flat, really. Okay, and then we've got the run through the line, okay? And not the brake bias back and forward if that is how you choose to do it, okay? So good luck this week. It's going to be interesting racing, okay? If you can get on pole and out in front, you will absolutely love it. It'll be great, okay? If you're in the pack, you just got to be careful, okay? Again, two overtaking places, turn one, and then uphill after the long corner. Don't try and sort of make any crazy moves elsewhere. It's just going to end in disaster. Honestly, those are the two places where you can realistically overtake here. So, hope this was of some help, and I will see you next week.